back to our channel. This is another episode of our infertility story and our journey to parenthood. On this episode, I'll be sharing how I finally started the IVF treatment. So stay tuned, grab a cup of coffee and tea and the popcorn, of course, and enjoy the ride. After 1 year of medical diagnostics in the Netherlands and 3 medical opinions, they concluded that I'm not the right candidate for the IVF treatment in the Netherlands. So I was denied the treatment. From our last video, you see when we finally went to get the last opinion and were advised to go to Africa. So we decided to go back home. So in September 2023, I went back to my motherland, Nigeria, because I'm very familiar with the doctors and the medical procedure there, and it was quite easy. So I took a leave from work, an unpaid leave, of course, and I went back home. So this is me saying bye-bye to my husband. I was excited to go back home because it was after 15 whole months of being out of the country, of me relocating to the Netherlands.
I'm going home. Oh, I thought this was your home here in Holland. You did so much work to get here, and now you tell me that you're going home.
I'm going to my motherland, motherland Africa, Nigeria, yeah, we come. I can't wait.
Okay, then bye back, babe.
My original home. This is my home. I'm going to my motherland.
Your home.
My original home.
Okay, where they talk funny.
So I can't wait for you to come.
Okay, your home is flying in 3 weeks, so don't worry. Okay? Okay, take care now.
I'll miss you. No time for tears. We've done all the crying and so on.
Yeah, we did already. Okay. Right. Ciao, babe. Take care, yeah?
I finally get to go back home to visit my friends and my family. So of course I will miss my husband. It's my home right now, but I was happy to just go back to motherland Nigeria. So this is me leaving at the airport and saying goodbye to my husband. It was a very pleasant, smooth trip. We landed in Nigeria and everything was beautiful. First thing first, I went straight to make my hair. Of course, it was the next day. I had to glam up, you know. It's been 15 weeks of not making my hair properly. So I went to the salon, I got my hair done, I changed the color of my tint, and see me looking gorgeous and beautiful. Then the next day is a Sunday. I went to church, I reconnected, because of course Nigeria is where I reconnect more with my faith and my Christian religion, because there's more time to do all this, the prayers, the connecting. So I went back to church. There was a conference going on at that moment, and my spiritual father and my spiritual grandfather was in town. So of course it was a perfect moment. I need to receive all the words. All the positive words for the journey ahead. So I went to church. Yes, me just having fun and just being very happy in the presence of God. I feel so alive. It's as if I was let loose to just praise. So after that, I went to visit a couple of my friends. I bought some gifts for a friend. I reconnected with my church family, with my own bodies. I have videos of this. I already did it in my previous video. I'm going to attach the link above. Then the next Monday, it was time to visit my doctor. So here's me consulting, having my first consultation with my Nigerian doctor. At first, he didn't recognize me because we only spoke over the phone. But when reminded him of our conversation. We reconnected, and he gave me a brief summary of what the treatment plan is going to be about. So after that, he referred me to the fertility clinic, where I met with the nurses, and they put me on a plan. I got all my medications. I was supposed to start with the Brucelin injection. The Brucelin injection is an injection I'm going to take for the next 14 days. It's meant to regulate and balance all my hormones before we actually start the IVF treatment. So these are the injections I was given. So I was given the form, the agreement form to sign, and also the chart I'm going to follow each day as I give myself the medication. I was meant to give myself 50 ml each day on my lower abdomen. So, and the medication is meant to be kept in a very cool place, preferably in the fridge. So I did all that. Then it was time for me to give myself. This is me giving myself and showing my husband the first ever injection I give myself. So it was pretty easy. I didn't feel so much pain. It was just a little slight thing. So, and that was how the first day started. Today was the 28th of November 2023. That was when we officially started the IVF procedure, my first IVF treatment in Lagos, Nigeria. So it was 2 weeks to take the Brucelin injection, then another 2 weeks of stimulating my ovaries. So 4 weeks treatment. After that, Obi will come over and we can do the retrieval and the transfer. So Obi was going to join me in 3 weeks. So we needed an apartment. So I went for an apartment. I already did a video of that. I went for an apartment search, an Airbnb search. A friend of mine took me around and we saw a couple of apartments, but the prices were so high because Obi was going to stay for about 4 weeks to 5 weeks. So we calculated the total cost. It was going to be very expensive. So we decided to just get an apartment. I'm going to attach also the link to all the apartment tour and how we got a new apartment below, above or below somewhere. And we had the Hallelujah Challenge, the October 2023 edition, towards the period I was home. So I connected, like I said earlier, I connect more with my faith back in motherland. So I joined in faith. It was a Dress Our Miracle part. So I dressed like a pregnant person and I danced, like you see in my previous video. And it was very, very, really encouraging. And it lifted my faith, of course, for the journey ahead. So prior to the start of the treatments, of course, I already did all my blood works, blood screening tests, a whole lot of tests again before we started. Obi also did tests back in the Netherlands and it was sent to our doctor. So they collected everything before they started me on the treatment. And there was a weekly scan of my abdominals, my ovary. So a weekly scan of my uterus was done. And during one of those scans, they saw 2 cysts. So they scheduled me for a drainage because they won't stimulate my ovaries until the drainage was done. So it coincided with the day of my drainage coincided with the day we were supposed to pay for the house. So I decided, I told the house agent to hold on and wait for a procedure. I'll be back. If the next person pays, then it's not God's will for us to get the house. But if not, then it's fine. But I wanted to quickly be fast so I can quickly go and pay for the apartment. So I got to that. Of course, I've prayed for healing prior to that. So it was really amazing when I got to that day. See me, this was me in the waiting room, waiting to get to the theater for the drainage. I prayed, I said the prayer, and I went into the theater, and got so good. When they went in, the drainage has cleared itself. The 2 drainage was all gone. So there was no need. I already paid for the procedure, so I was refunded. This is me just happy and excited that it was a good sign that the other parts of the procedure were successful as well. So I quickly hurried up, went back to finalize on paying for the house, and got so good we got the house before the next person, the second person contending for the apartment, paid. So that was some good news. Shortly after that, precisely 2 weeks after that, I was started on the hormonal injection. So I took that for another 2 weeks. This is me being taught how to inject myself, because it's another method of, it needs to be very precise, and they only give you enough dosage for it to last like 3 days. So after 3 days, we go again for an abdominal scan. So they keep monitoring how your ovaries are responding to it. So this is me receiving all the medications, and officially the IVF is about to start the IVF treatment. Of course, it has started 2 weeks prior, but this is actually a major part of the IVF treatment. So a few days after it was time to welcome my husband home, I quickly did a tour of the apartment. I already did a video of that, which I'm also going to attach. So Obi finally came home, and I was very, very happy to see him after a couple of weeks apart. We had some nice time, of course, hanging out and just catching up. Then the next day we went to visit my parents. As at this moment, it was Obi's 4th time in Nigeria, his 4th visit to Nigeria. So my parents were, of course, very happy to welcome him home as always. They were received him with warm welcome, and we had dinner. It was really a fun time, and it was time to check out of the hotel. We checked out of the hotel room, but we spent a couple of nights in the hotel before we now moved to the apartment. So this is me showing